here we are. All right, everyone. Welcome to Masculine Geek number 112. This is the Fireside Chat edition. And we have TJ. We may have an old guest from way back when we first started. In fact, I think we've had him on the show twice, Luke Risner. He's been invited on the show and replied in the affirmative. He may be a bit late, but he may show up as well. So, without further ado, James has some news.
Oh, we're jumping right into it.
Oh, we're going right into it. Yeah,
we're going right for the poop.
We're going right for the side effects to your story.
No. This is for context. I messaged Vincent and told him that my insides had chosen now to empty themselves, so I might be late. Turns out we were all late, so it was fine. But no, I've been back on Lexapro, which is not what I thought we were going to open the show with, but fuck it. I've been back on Lexapro, and I've been basically documenting all the side effects and all the motivational changes and stuff like that, because I want to I know a lot of dudes are starting to go on those. Even folks folks who are older than me starting to go onto these different medications. So I've been working to say, hey, these are positive side effects, these are negative side effects. This is what this starts to look like if the medication is working as intended, and as an alternative to voices telling you to kill yourself, because apparently some people suffer that. Basically tracking those differences. That's what I've been up to over the last week.
So the voices just tell you to poop yourself?
No, I don't get any voices. That's one of the negative side effects. That mean you should stop whatever you're doing and call your doctor immediately.
Oh, I thought it was going to tell you to do cold showers and knuckle push-ups or something.
No, that's Valaxifene. I think it is. I think that's...
So all those assholes on Twitter that talk about doing cold showers and bare knuckle push-ups are on that one.
Yeah, because otherwise
they're all on meds.
I would have started and telling everybody, "Hey, this is why I've been motivated lately is cold showers and knuckle push-ups." And knuckle push-ups inside the cold showers.
Yes.
Well, yes, of course. And
while taking his shit, apparently.
Well, and drinking black coffee.
That's the most important one.
Yeah.
It's cold showers.
There's a couple of areas or fields in life in which I'm more knowledgeable than others, and one of them is the physical fitness and getting in shape. And it's interesting to see how people try to take something that's probably worked for them, but they try to apply it across the range to everyone and say that this is the way it works. And I read some of the stuff, and it's I've tried a lot of different stuff. I've tried, I know what kind of foods that I can't eat if I want to stay in shape, what kind of foods I can eat a lot of and not worry about gaining weight. Like my personal metabolism, what type of workouts do what, achieve what. And so when I see people giving very, very specific advice in a very general context, I'm kind of just thinking, yeah, dude, you're telling me what works for you, but that doesn't necessarily work for other people.
But have you tried gear? Have you tried Tren? Have you done steroids, TJ?
I can say I've never tried steroids, which I think most people. First of all, everybody, if someone's on steroids, you'll know it. There's nothing secretive. When I see those, I go to this gym that's basically like a time machine. You go back to the 80s. He used to be a bodybuilder. His sister was a bodybuilder. They had photos of bodybuilders everywhere. And so they have photos of all these women from the 80s that were doing bodybuilding. It's every single one of them, I would bet my life savings, they were on steroids to some degree or another. I know what a normal human being who lifts weights looks like compared to someone who doesn't. I don't think any of the guys in my gym have ever done or do steroids because they look big, but they look normally big, as opposed to a guy or a gal where there's something unnatural about their body shape.
TJ, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm going to. Just to make a quick observation. Our views just shot up, and they're up to 53. We're at 54. I'm like, what the fuck? Because that's a little high for. I'm not. It's great. Rollo just retweeted us, so thank you, Rollo. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Nah,
And welcome
thanks
to
a lot.
everyone welcome to everyone who's dropped in who has not seen Masculine Geek before. So
Dropped in
Can-
like
can-
one of James's deuces.
These people will have no
Damn.
context for that. They're gonna
Exactly,
go back
yeah,
like 50 seconds.
James Deuce Streisand. That's
there
it.
you go.
James the dude. There we are. The news for the
It's just you're stuck with that for at least tonight.
Yep. At least tonight. And the new
TJ,
Timberwolves.
please continue with your briefings.
So yeah, so when I see guys giving kind of like health or get in shape advice, a lot of times they're giving advice that worked well for them and their bodies. Because if you're a guy who's 6'3" and you've got a big frame, you're going to have a completely different physical fitness regimen than somebody who's a little smaller and has a stockier frame. Like there's some guys where they just shouldn't. Certain workouts, for example, if the taller you are, the longer your limbs, the further you have to go to do bench press, to do squats. So you're going to be doing different stuff than a guy who's really stocky, where doing a bench press or doing squats or doing dips, that is not going to put as much stress on different parts of his body. So your workout's going to be different. But also, what kind of a physical fitness do you want to have? Some people are against running or cardio. I'm not like. It's kind of like when I talk to guys who are really into what do you call it? It was that carnivore diet. What was it called?
Keto or some shit.
Yeah, so whatever. The paleo diet.
Paleo,
It was
paleo.
the whole book on it. And I've done the paleo diet to an extent, and yeah, it's worked a little bit, or it's worked well. Like stay away from carbs if you want to, stay in shape. But there's also certain things that I can eat or drink a lot of and not have to worry about gaining weight that has carbs in it. But bread, for me personally, if I eat bread, I'm going to gain weight. Like it's just a weight gainer for me. So
bread is so good though.
I know that's a problem.
I know it fucking sucks.
All the shit that tastes good is bad for you.
Yeah,
That's it.
I will for the most part. I'm with you, TG, on that. But I will fuck it. There's times I'm breaking out the bread and the cheese. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but man, I went to France and talked about this on.
That's a little different. That's different
Yeah.
too. The bread over there.
Well, they don't put any corn syrup in any of their stuff. But I guess going back to the full physical fitness thing, I've actually gotten back into running after years of not really running, and I'm not doing it to try and like lose weight or get in shape, so to speak. But I want to be able to do some significant cardio running. Like let's say I just think. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future, but I want to be able to run a pretty fast speed for a pretty long time period if I need to.
That's what a rifle's for, TJ. You're never going to outrun a bullet, and no one else is either. So and they can reach out way further than you can, and way further than they can reach you. So just train your rifle. Train your rifle.
Keep your rifle by your side, right?
Right.
Always.
Right.
Always. That's right.
And I'm not trying to like do like marathon running, and I understand that significant cardio running puts strain on your heart and on your hips and on your body. So I'm not like advocating that kind of stuff, but I'm just the other thing is I just got bored at the gym. I'm kind of at the point where, at least for me, when I was younger, I had to go to the gym frequently to stay in shape or keep up my performance with weights or lifting. Now I can go for a month or two with just doing a few basic workouts, and then I can go back to the gym and I can lift almost as much. So it's kind of like I'm almost just getting bored. Yes, I could go up further and like if I was made my workout more intense, but there's a couple things I've just cut out from my workout. I don't do squats anymore, and I don't do bench press. Bench press has just had bad negative effects on my shoulders. And then with squats, I'll do stuff with like dumbbells or something where it's not on my shoulders. But
do the goblet squats. You do those?
Yeah, something like that, or anything where it involves not having the weight on my shoulders or on my back.
Gotcha.
And for other guys, that's not as much of a problem. For me, that's something that I'm trying to avoid.
Gotcha. You haven't had surgery on your back now, have you?
No, what I did have is I had a slipped disc herniated disc in my neck.
Ow.
That was after back-to-back car accidents. And then I've just had, I finally figured it out. I don't have lower back pain as a result of problems in my lower back. The problem is actually my shoulders. So a lot of times with like, if you have tight muscles up here, it pulls down on your lower back. So I've just, and the nice thing about running, the other reason I got back into running is because I had a lot of tendonitis in my legs and in my lower back. But now that I've been running, it loosens up those muscles enough to where I can actually stretch them and get some sort of, I don't pull them or anything like that. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, something to keep in mind is if you herniated that disc up there, your brachial, that ties into your brachial nerve clusters. So if you're, for instance, sitting at a, so that shoots down to your arms. If you've ever had the experience of sneezing and feeling something like you're hitting your funny bone, shooting down to either your elbow or your wrist.
Almost like a pinched nerve.
It's like a pinched nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
and there are certain problems like that tension in your upper back can exacerbate that.
Right. I mean, this, when I was in college, my early 20s, I was bench pressing 310 pounds. I was squatting like probably 410. I was doing significant and heavy weight, but now I'm at the point where I'm thinking long term and I don't want to be dealing with a lot of pain when I'm in my 50s. So I'm just being more careful. I might get back into it if it's done in a responsible way, or if I'm doing it right. And I think that's the other thing is I just want to make sure it's being done right. And if I'm doing kind of non-stressful lifts, like with push-ups, you can do a different variety of push-ups, and it's very low stress on your body.
Speaking of stress, Rob is de-stressing with his pussy. That's right. Stroke it. Stroke it. Dr. Eva, how about no? How about no, Scott? Okay.
Look what you did to Mr. Bigglesworth.
If you took off your do-rag, Rob, that'd be perfect.
This evil organization will not tolerate failure.
Unleash the probe.
I can't believe that the first film came out in 97.
Holy shit, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. God, we're old. Son of a bitch.
I was dude, Lord of the Rings its 20th anniversary is this fall.
Oh, shit, that's right. Hopefully they have one of those. A lot of the movie theaters will do it. And I've gone to one before where they play all the extended editions one after the other. Yeah. So it's a whole day affair.
Yeah. Man, that's I remember. Cool. Yeah. Well, what's crazy is like, so I was thinking about how Star Wars came out in 97. Or sorry, not 97. 1977. 77. Again. The special effects edition or the special edition or whatever they want to call it. We got a bunch of cool new technology. Let's insert a bunch of pointless scenes into the film. That came out in 97. So it was the 20th anniversary. So we realized Amazon's trying to do the new Lord of the Rings series. And I'm thinking, wow, it's actually been that long. That time period has been that long between that. And it does not feel like it's been 20 years. It doesn't feel, no, I think that's probably because not as much has changed technologically in 20 years as between the 70s and the 90s. Because by the 90s, you had CG, you had blue screen, you had green screen, you could do all this kind of cool stuff. In the 70s, it had to all be nothing was digital. It was all film, but also all the special effects.
Lucas had green screen technology for Star Wars and the rest of them, didn't he? I mean, that's how they pulled off a lot of their space shots.
Well, I mean, it was all physical. It was all literally real stuff.
Oh yeah. No, you're right.
Like, not like they didn't use computers to do any of that kind of stuff. And I think that's where a lot of like older films actually kind of stand up, is because the physical always is superior to the digital.
No, it's like a book versus an ebook. It's the same concept.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting about that is I just realized that's how long the time period has been. Like I've been talking to some people and I realized they were kids. These kids were not alive when these films came out.
No.
And it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
No, it hasn't. But yeah, let's see, 77. I was 7 years old. So yeah, I'm an old fuck. Thankfully, I don't look it, so that's most helpful.
I don't think any of us look. I you don't look that old. No, I'm just saying, like, I don't think any of us.
It's funny.
Well, no, it's crazy.
You don't look old. You don't look as old as decrepit as your chronological age would have everyone believe.
Especially if I shave, right?
Exactly.
Right. So I just think what's crazy is, like, I see a lot of people who are prematurely aging. Like I find out they're in their 20s or their 30s, and they look like they're in their 40s or 50s.
Yeah, I think a lot of that too is lack of sleep, but bad genetics at the outset. That's a main thing too. If you've got parents and grandparents that aged very well, that's gonna trickle down to you. That's me in my case. But as far as how you treat your body, are you exercising? People that are larger and obese and fat, they have a tendency to look much older than their chronological age. So, and then stress is a huge factor on top of that, especially this past fucking year, man. I'm sure it's added 10 years to a lot of people that have not been self-aware.
The bags under my eyes are for extra inventory space. That's why
the bags under your eyes are the American Tourister edition. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So,
but no, none of us look our age, which is helpful.
Yeah, because then I feel really out of place.
you and James both.
Right.
It depends on where you put. I'm a social chameleon. It depends on where you put me. I can find somewhere to fit in.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You're what, 23 going on 24?
Going on 24.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been easy enough to fit in just about anywhere, and that's been helpful.
Yeah.
I hope I can hold on to that.
You'll be fine. You're not socially retarded like most people.
I'm a little social.
But that is the problem. Is, like, if you're not socially retarded, that actually is a handicap. As you know, like Aaron was trying to play D&D in person, and he would show up, and there'd be people in pajamas, or the Spurgs and the other idiots, and so I think that's.
Well, I don't care what the fuck you wear. Just comport yourself in a I don't want to say normal, but for lack of a better word, in a normal manner, and not freak the fuck out. So, but I don't care what the hell. I don't care what the hell you wear. It doesn't. That's neither here nor there. I mean, it's funny if you're going to show up in pajamas, unless that was a thing. Like, hey, it's fucking pajama night. Whatever. That's fine. I don't fucking care.
Of course, Aaron showing up in his
like a human being.
Of course, with Aaron's wardrobe, him showing up in his regular clothes is showing up in his pajamas.
Aaron, I know, right? Aaron, pretty much. Aaron should just, like, all right, when in Rome, I'm just going to show up in my fucking pajamas. I'm gonna roll up on my motorcycle in my pajamas, whatever, and I'm gonna play D&D.
Right. Exactly. And if they happen to have a different, like, societal structure at that particular table, you could be the odd man out.
Yeah,
blend in a little bit. Take the thing that's fun about that particular table, and it sucks to have your expectations diminished in some way. I went out with this one girl, and it turns out she did not look exactly how I thought she would. So I'm going to have fun in a different way. I'm going to flirt with the waitress in front of her.
There you go.
Or we're going to go out there, and I'm going to ask her, does she think that girl looks cute? Does she think that guy looks hot? And stuff like that, and play this uncomfortable game with her
while you're in your pajamas. While
in my pajamas. Pajamas, which have a chick on them with a not like a woman, a chick with a nightcap and the caption of "Chicks dig me." And this is imprinted all around the pajama pants. It's very special to me.
Vince, I came up with the perfect masculine geek pajama pants. They have those World War II pinup gals on them.
Oh, absolutely. Ooh. Absolutely.
That would be amazing.
Any Betty Page or Vargas girl. Well, actually, Betty Page is a Vargas girl come to life, but Yeah, just
Right.
have those on masculine. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I'm thinking about getting that in when the next motorcycle I get, I'm going to have that airbrushed on the side of the gas tank, a pinup girl.
Yeah, I need to do that at some point, but I may end up waiting for when I need to replace my gas tank at some point, but that might be a couple of years just because of the
Well,
price.
if you crash it again and dent it the fuck up, then yeah.
I've learned a lot. You know what? A couple of things is one, you got yes, you got to wear the regular the good clothes, the protective clothes, but the other thing is you got to kind of suit up, because if you get cold and you start shivering, your body tightens up, and that's not good on a motorcycle.
No, you
So
get
that's
tense
what
and you don't react as quick.
Yeah, that was what was great about the I have a 1951 Navy pilot bomber jacket that I got from a gun show years ago, and I went motorcycling on it. And what's great is that it has this fur collar that you put up, and it comes up right up to your chin, and you button it up. And so it was designed for military purposes to keep a pilot warm in cold conditions. So I'm going around on a motorcycle, and I really don't feel any wind while I'm on this thing. So it was pretty awesome. And I bought that thing years ago, and I didn't have any. It's hard to wear a bomber jacket, as I think in most social settings, without seeming like a dork.
Well, you have to wear your pajamas with them, then you're fine. Your masculine geek pajamas.
Like but the thing is, like, there's certain things that you wear with people that you know. Like if I was showing up to play a tabletop game like Cthulhu Wars with my buddies, I could show up wearing the bomber jacket and they'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." You show up to a bar wearing that thing and people are like, "Who's this idiot?" You know, like who's this jerk? Like, I'm gonna just throw this out there. There are masculine geek stuff that 90%, 99 will be more specific. 99% of women will not appreciate. You wear a bomber jacket to a bar or to a pub or whatever, most of the girls are not going to understand what that's about. They won't appreciate it. And it depends on your region. You may be in an area where there's some sort of historical.
It depends on the age of the woman too, the girl.
Yeah, like if you're going to like a historical, there's like a military museum or some sort of aviation museum or a World War II thing going on, and you show up wearing that, things could be different. And because there's going to be girls, if the girls are there, they're ones who are actually interested in the topic, right? They're interested in World War II stuff, but general public setting.
Let me ask you this, TJ. How many girls do you know that are interested in World War II?
I was just thinking that. I was going to ask that same question.
I know probably in my entire life I've known one, if not two. No, that's two. But the thing is, like, they work in a business, like in a related business, meaning they are directly involved in selling World War II stuff or whatever. I've never met a girl who is casually, as a hobby, recreationally interested in military stuff. And so...
you never will.
Right.
I'm just throwing it out there, and you never will. That is a unicorn that doesn't exist.
Yes.
Continue.
Oh, no, I don't doubt that for a second. But that was kind of my point, is like, that's the point I was trying to make, is like, I don't really wear it very often because of just how most people don't get it. You dress kind of the way that you want to be. Now, I can tell you this. When I was wearing that thing on my motorcycle and I was driving by like these people's houses, the kids came out on the lawn to like they thought it was the coolest thing ever. There were a couple of old guys that was driving by. They thought it was pretty cool. Like, you could tell by I wasn't driving that fast because it was in a neighborhood, but they thought it was really cool. So the guys got it.
Up old dudes. Gotcha.
God. Well, okay. I could make a comment. I'm not going to make it. We're not going to go that dark.
That's funny.
Okay, Nick August's comment, that is freaking hilarious.
Thunder.
You want to read that out, James?
Sure thing. Nick Onga says TJ hits on girls by saying flash and waits to see if they respond with thunder.
There you go.
Yeah. So here's an interesting thing I'm going to throw out about the online dating, my online dating experience so far. That is an interesting thing.
I've been waiting to hear more.
So if on my profile, I don't put, something about how I love watching the old TV show Combat. It was a 1960s.
And I imagine you don't put that you're interested in military history or anything like that either.
Right. But holy hell, like one, if not out of 2 of every 4 girls talks about The Office in their profile.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking like that doesn't, whether you like The Office has nothing to do with whether I'm interested in you or not. But they're saying that, but this is their profiles. They're saying this as if it's like a selling point. Like, I love The Office. It's like, great.
Dude, that's right up there with I like food and music and travel. And I got 3 kids and they're my world and they come first and no hookups. It's the same shit, TJ. You just ignore it and fucking swipe right. You swipe right if you like them. You swipe left if you don't.
Well, what's so funny is like, I understand and acknowledge, I think most men would acknowledge, like saying that you love Combat or some obscure a TV show that is just for kind of geeky guys or guys who are a little bit nerdy. They understand, I like this. This is something I watch for my own enjoyment. It's not a selling point to a potential date. But these girls are saying this as if I'm supposed to find that arousing. Like, oh my God, this is the girl of my dreams.
No. It's just a cut and paste that they picked up from the girls online dating profile.com.
Oh, dude, I totally.
They put it on there so that, if you've seen The Office, you're allowed to open with, oh my God, Michael Scott quote and stuff like that. And it's like this easy in thing.
No.
That's been my
swipe
experience.
Right if you like their picture, swipe left if you don't. Everything else
I'm not contradicting that. What I'm saying,
I get it. But
the
all
reason
I'm
that
saying,
they put that on there,
it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
I'm agreed.
It's completely fucking irrelevant what they put in their profile. I don't read their profiles. I don't read it. I swipe right if they're pretty. I swipe left if they're fat. And if the ones hit me back and they match, it's on. We just start. Yeah. I don't even look at their
I see mention of dogs. That's my one profile.
If you see the girl, dude, run if you see if they have a picture of a horse.
Horses.
Horse girls.
James.
I'm in South Jersey, man.
Run.
My
Well, you're a horse dude, so you should get along fine with them. So,
no,
James,
you want to know how that works?
Obviously, I know that. And
I'm kidding with you.
You live at an airport today, James. Yes. Just read the goddamn
Red
super chat.
Blues for $5. We were in the middle of something. Fred,
nobody gives a shit.
Your lunch money. As a bully, give me your lunch money. Yeah, I learned what women ignore. With women, ignore it. They will get angry, but then they want you more.
Yep.
I'm like expecting another word there.
You got
to cut down on character count in order.
Women, when you piss off women, it tends to get the tingles going. That's always a fun thing.
So that's one thing that's always thrown me off is that what Rob just said is where I remember when I was younger, I would get into not get in arguments, but I would just be like, I don't care what you think. I'm thinking like, I just want this girl to go away. But then I would go somewhere else at a party or whatever, and she'd be like following me around, wanting to continue the discussion. It's like,
right.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's so counterintuitive to what men
you could have banged her. Let's just put it that way, TJ. Yeah. If she's following you around, wanting to fucking argue with you some more, and you're like, get the fuck out of here, go away. She wants to fuck you. You could have gotten laid.
On a gut level, women realize that they have insane emotional roller coasters of moods, and when a guy doesn't put up with it, it gets them wet. That's what happens. They're like, oh, okay, and now you're a challenge, and you are the prize. guys
I-
that put up with that and cater to
Right.
that, they will
No, it was-
resent
it's-
and hate
yeah.
you over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no different than the chicks that put no hookups in their profile. They
No.
fuck on the first date.
Or the ones that they'll say no drama. They're the ones that are full of drama.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, no drama. Okay, you're a drama queen. No hookups on the first date. Okay, that means I'm getting laid at same day late. Seriously, that they're just signaling to their coworkers and their family. That's all that is. It's all bullshit. They're just trying to cover that if their friends or family see them doing online dating, then she looks good to them because no hookups.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
But
She'll
Rob,
fuck
that's a
you on
really
the first date.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, Rob. I've never thought about that before. Is the idea that people are like they put up what they put up in their profile is to for people in their relationships, their family or whatever.
Yeah,
in
it's
case they
their
see it.
status. It's their social status. They
I've
put
never
all
thought of
that
that before.
bullshit up there. That's exactly all it is. They put all that shit there because women like to fuck, but they like to tell you no even more if it makes them look good in their social circle. Whether that's family, friends, co-workers, they don't want to be seen as a slut. So they put in no hookups and all this 30-point bullet list about I like the office and food and music, and you need to be 7 foot tall and Chad and 8 figures and all that other nonsense. And that's why I don't even bother. In fact, if I see no hookups, that's a green light. It's like, oh, she fucks on the first date. Because that's how they are. They're just doing that shit for fucking appearances. That's all that is.
Yeah. That's
so play with that, TJ. Run with it, buddy.
Play with it.
Jesus,
I think that's
make it all dirty.
I think that's a disadvantage for like more rational minded people where they think from a logical perspective on stuff.
You're taking them literal. You're taking them at face value. You're taking them literal. You're going, oh, well, I'm a logical dude. And so if I put up a 30-point bullet list, I actually expect you to meet that list. And so you go into it thinking, well, she's got a 30-point bullet list. Do I measure up? And you fucking go into it with that mentality and, well, God, I'm not 7 foot and 12 inches in the pants and $1 million a year. I guess I don't have a chance. Where I look at it and I go, I don't care what their profile says. All I give a fuck is, does she look good in her photos? That's all I care about. And if she does, if she gives me a little bit of tingle down in the lower regions, I'm swiping right. I don't care what the profile says, because you know what? The profile never comes up. Not for me. It never comes up. She could be Trump supporters swipe left. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I don't.
Oh yeah, the whole voter identity bullshit. Yeah,
none of that shit matters.
Hey,
if
Luke.
I swipe right and she matches, it's on.
Luke, how's it going?
And there's Luke.
Luke, this is the
Fellas,
new addition to Masco and Geek. This is James Streissand. He's in the upper right-hand corner.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Nice to
Welcome
meet you.
back, sir.
It has been quite a long time, several months. I
Yes,
think.
it has.
It's probably been, I would say, close to a year.
I think that's probably right. I was deployed for about 7 months, and then there's all the stuff before and after. So I bet it's definitely more than a year, but I'm not entirely sure on the exact amount, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right. You're here now. That's all that matters. Cool. So what's new? What's been going on?
Oh, brother, what hasn't been going on is
I know, right? Shit. You can give us the too long didn't read version. Yeah, you can give us the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, I'll give you the Cliff Notes. Might even be too broad. I'll just go with the Spark Notes off of Google. We deployed to Japan. Oh, what was that? February. Yeah, February, just before the lockdowns. And Japan itself actually did not give half a damn about the lockdowns. We were on Okinawa specifically, and didn't really affect anything until the DoD started pushing it down. And then, of course, orders
Really?
are orders, whether you like it or not.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh, shit.
In fact, you had to uphold certain standards on base, and then once you were off the installation, you walked across that line there at the gate. You pop the mask off and go about your business or what have you. Nobody cared. Nobody was blocking you out of restaurants and hating on you or anything. So it was pretty simple. So we went on this deployment, and we, aside from certain moments that were few and far between, we actually did nothing. I essentially was paid and deployed to smoke cigars and play ungodly amounts of Xbox because everything else was shut down on base.
Oh shit.
So as much as I'd like to complain about it, there are worse things.
This is true. This is true. What are you drinking there?
Got back, and I actually just finished a few weeks of shoulder rehab and physical therapy. I tore my shoulder up pretty good.
Oh
It
shit.
took them 55 weeks to get me an MRI, which is interesting. And I'm sure in the civilian world, probably some form of malpractice or something or other. But that's life.
Yeah.
So my career in the Marine Corps is actually coming to an end in June.
Okay.
I'm going to look at the Army a little bit. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. And if not, then hello, civilian world, here I come. So.
Oh, all right. How long have you been in the Marine Corps? What's your total years?
9 years.
Oh shit.
Wow.
9 years. So I was intending to do the full 20, or I even thought about the idea of 30, which is the longest you can serve active duty on the enlisted side of the house. And
okay.
Due to medical, I can't do it. However, I was told if I got my shoulder taken care of initially, that it would be fine, which is a bit, embittering to say the least. But
yeah.
it happens.
Okay.
So here we are.
Yeah. That sucks. And here we are indeed. So you've got your drink and you've got your cigar. So what's the drink and what's the cigar?
Indeed.
So the drink is one of my favorites, Old Forester 1920, which I hopefully will finish throughout this.
Oh, nice.
And, the cigar is one of my. Well, that's a good one. That's a really good one. And the cigar comes from one of my favorite companies. It's the oldest American company, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's the Diamond Crown Julius Caesar, J.C. Newman.
Oh shit.
And that's see if I can get some better lighting there.
Yeah, it's a cool label.
So, and it's a really great label. And Caesar here, for those who the history nuts out there, is ER instead of AR. Because it is named after his father. When his father emigrated to the United States, they picked a middle name and he told him it was Caesar, and the guy just wrote down Caesar the way he thought he would spell it, and not technically the historically accurate name as far as Julius Caesar. And now
Gotcha.
here we are.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. And you're firmly comfortable and ensconced in your garage?
Yep. Yeah, in the garage with I actually have the entirety of my garage packed right now. I've put about when all is said and done, it'll be $11,000 into the house as I prepare to sell.
Wow.
Gotcha. Wow. Damn. Are you staying in the area?
Flooring myself. No, I'm going to go back to Ohio, at least for a little bit. I don't intend to settle down there, but that's the easiest route at the moment, is to go back home where I've got some family help real quick as I transition, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Gotcha. How's your family holding up?
Doing well. Thank you for asking. I have Sophia. She's now 4. And
Oh, shit.
She's 4 going on 34. I can't figure out.
They grow up so fast.
Well, she looks at me the other day, just today. We were on the way to Lowe's to grab some stuff, and she goes, I want to go to Starbucks and then Target. He's great. You know, I don't know who her parents are, but we're gonna have a talk.
Starting
Yeah,
early.
Jack is.
And I'd like, yeah, you're like, yeah, and I'd like a full salary pension.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'd like to keep the career that I love, but you know that is.
So you have 2 children now, right?
And so
I think
there's
you're
that,
breaking up a bit.
and Jack now. Yep. Yeah.
You're
Jack
breaking up a bit.
is 1 year. 15
Yeah, he's breaking up.
Yeah.
I think.
Are you on your phone?
I am on my phone. Unfortunately, my laptop died about a couple months ago, and I have yet to replace it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were breaking up there a little bit. It was a little choppy.
Is it fixed now?
You sound pretty smooth now. Yeah. So,
Okay.
my question was, you have 2 children or 3? 2. Okay, that's what I thought.
2. Yep. Jack and Sophia. So, ages 4 and 1, and Jack is really good at running into tables. That's his.
That's his skill.
It's that and climbing. The other day, I caught him standing in the bedroom window on top of the windowsill. He had pulled a chair over there, and he was yelling at the birds. So,
As well, he should be. Yes.
yeah, well,
At least he's not
my kid,
shooting.
I'll tell you that.
At least he's not shooting them, right? Not yet.
Not yet. Can't break out that BB gun, that Red Ryder BB gun. Do we? No. Okay, there you go. All right.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got a phone call. My bad.
No, that's all right. You're good. Cool. Well, I'm glad everything is okay. I'm glad your plans seem to be moving forward nicely.
I got a question.
I appreciate you guys asking. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Of course.
I got a question. So if you were to, let's say, if you were to pick your favorite whiskey, and let's say it was a small amount, you're not going for the whole bottle in the night, kind of like
Sure.
with like Jameson or something like that. Which one would it be? Like, let's say it was a small amount that you just wanted to spend a whole evening just kind of dealing like one of those fancy whiskey glasses.
Yeah. Oh boy. I'm going to give you a couple of them. If it was Scotch, it'd probably be Lagavulin 16. I'm a real big fan of the Islas. I like the deep peaty smokiness of them, particularly obviously during winter. You know, it's cold. It kind of really fits the profile. You know. Apart from that, I've become a bit more of a bourbon guy in the last year or so. And I would probably say I really enjoy the Wild Turkey Rye. Not a lot of people. I've run into people who aren't the world's biggest fan of that, but that to me it's not the most expensive bottle around where I'm at. That goes about $60, and that is just it's a apple Jolly Rancher with a little bit of oil, a little bit of pepper kind of thing going on, and I am a big fan of that one. If not that, then it would be the 1920.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Yeah, because there's some whiskeys where, you know, me and a buddy will grab and we'll, you know, go through almost all of it, and you know, maybe there's 3 of us, but we'll go through it pretty much because it's just one of those bottles. But then there's a couple where it's like all you need is a small shot worth, and you can just sip on that because it's got so much. I know it's going to sound dorky, but we are masculine geeks here.
Complexity.
There's so much, there's so much complexity and character to each sip that you just sit there and sip on it, and maybe you got a cigar or a pipe or whatever you're smoking, and you're just So that's kind of where I was curious, because a lot of people say, "What's your favorite whiskey?" And my thought is, well, in what context are we like going through the bottle, or are we going through like one glass of it in an evening?
That's true.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just depends on the
yeah, for
context.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, another one though, for scotches I really enjoy is the Glenmorangie Quinta Rubin. It's the green bottle.
Oh,
I believe
gotcha.
That's 14 years, I want to say, but don't quote me on that. But that one is that's a wonderful one, especially if you're talking pairing it with a pipe or a cigar. That one
Yeah.
there will. That's nice. Very nice.
Very cool. And speaking of the pipes and cigars, you're doing pretty good content creation on your own channel in regard to reviews and whatnot, aren't you?
Yeah. So there's this group of folks they called the YTPC YouTube pipe community. I'm not sure when or where it started, and I'm a kind of a fringe member, so to speak. But yeah, I put up some content there and occasionally review blends and cigars, pairings. You know, just it's a small little thing, keeps me busy, allows me to share some of my thoughts, and then also it's a kind of a way of recording it, and then later on I'll go back and oh man, it's been a year since I've had this particular blend or what have you. What did I think about it, and then what do I think about it now? So
all right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that up in the chat for everybody to go check out. Yeah.
I gotta say that's something I wish I had done. Not just like, I wish I had done that with like pretty much everything: beers, wines, cigars, pipe tobacco. Because once you've had enough of it, you start to, like there's certain types of pipe tobacco that I really liked, and I've saved some of the pouches or packages or whatever, but some of them I haven't. And then it's like, where can I find that again? Like for example, there's some then there's some you don't forget because there's Vince got me these Lord of the Rings tobacco, second breakfast and
from the Country Squire,
Yep.
Oh, dude, those guys are amazing. That was
second breakfast and Old Toby.
Toby, oh my gosh. Which, by the way, Vince, you need to bring some.
I'm a big. The Country Squire does some really good work. Yeah, for sure.
Well, this is what sucks for me.
For cigars, for example, I just.
Oh, dude, that's
Tim Swanson.
Oh,
Cigars
nice.
Daily. Nice
cool.
simple book. Costs maybe like $20, and this is what I put most of my cigar info in.
All right.
Nice.
I've got an old hardback one somewhere.
Yeah. That or Jeremy Sears has a YouTube channel. Occasionally does some cigar reviews and such, and he just bought a leather blank page journal. Sits there with a nice pen. I think it's a fountain pen, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's great.
He writes all of his own notes in there.
Okay. Does he save the labels?
I believe so. I think he tapes them in there and whatnot, which is it's. I don't know what format he uses here, but mine looks something like that. There's all my notes. There's the label down at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll go through presentation, the smoking, the flavor, the impressions, the burn, you name it. It's all
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, the problem with my state is they don't allow us to order. I got away with murder one time. I ordered the I ordered the Presbyterian, and I didn't know anything about our state laws, and they actually shipped it to my place. But then I tried to reorder some of the stuff, and they go, "Yeah, we can't ship to Washington State. They have a ban on tobacco in shipping. So like nothing outside the state can get shipped to my place." Which completely sucks because there's tons of like
at least not openly anyway.
Yeah, that's where Vince and other people might come in in terms of their usefulness. Other people can order it for me and then ship it over. But that I went over to the East Coast to hang out with Vince and Rob.
Sure.
And then he brought it over, so like I was able to smoke it and loved it. But then I tried to reorder it, and they wouldn't let me reorder it because Washington State doesn't allow that stuff. So that's what's kind of sucks. But yeah,
Sure.
I think what happens is like you
So
people forget.
What blends do you typically like? Are you an English guy or?
It depends on what kind of mood I'm in, and also if I'm in my house or not. The Cavendish. The Presbyterian is a little strong for my house because that flavor will just stick around for a really long time. I have a couple ones that some guys who follow this channel gave me that are really smooth, that are pretty good. I have one that's like a Prohibition era, kind of like jazzy type. I don't know. I'm pretty open-minded. Like it's kind of like with liquor. I'm pretty open-minded towards stuff, but I know quality at this point when I see it because I have some cheap tobacco, and that stuff is just nasty. Like I use that for like rolling my own cigarettes, right? But then there's some of that stuff that like it's so smooth and good that I gotta get more of that. So that's where I think it's kind of like with cigars. Well, maybe not cigars because a Toro Fuentes is not expensive, but it's a pretty good cigar. With tobacco and guns, it's kind of like you get what you pay for.
Oh,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you can come across a under $10 cigar that's it's not a bad smoke, but for the most part, you are correct. Yes.
Yeah. So the Toro Fuente, I think the 858 Maduro, which I think is like a $7 stick, $6.50.
Yep.
Kind of
$7.99 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best things they ever came up with.
The Arturo Fuentes are the Hemingways are good too.
Oh yeah, the short story is one of my favorites.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, where did Rob go? I noticed he bounced out.
Rob had something to take care of. He got a phone call and had to bounce. So nothing serious. He'll be okay.
No, his cat, his
cat had his pussy had an itch. He had to take care of it.
Yeah. Well, you gotta take care of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's cool is like one of the things that I always love about smoking my pipe or there's a couple places in town I've discovered that actually allow me to smoke. It's outdoors, so it's not a cigar lounge, but they allow you to smoke on their premise. So I'll be sitting there with my pipe, or I'll have a cigar going, and it doesn't happen every time, but it does happen enough times to where somebody will come over and say like, "You look really cool or sophisticated." Somebody come up to me and say that, and I go, "Well, thanks." I'm just sitting there like I got a cigar or my pipe, and I'm just sitting there puffing away while having like a drink because it's a distillery or whatever. And that's kind of like what I love about cigars and pipes is like the sort of like aura that it gives off to other people.
Yeah.
And
there's an aura of sophistication with a cigar and power, and an aura of authority. Ancient authority with a pipe.
Well, back in the 90s, the cigar boom, right? I mean, prior to that, it was kind of the mark of the rich and the famous, the elite, politicians or what have you, because they're the only ones that could kind of get them regularly
and afford them. Yeah.
And then as time went on, you have the cigar boom. Now you have all these boutique blends everywhere.
Right.
There's cigar companies popping up left and right now.
Yep.
It's
like breweries.
Oh
yeah.
So it was interesting. I have a very old copy of the novel Little Caesar, which was made into a film that we quote regularly on this show.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a cigar smoker in the novel, but in the film, I don't know who it was, but somebody handed Edward G. Robinson a cigar and said, "Well, your character is going to be a cigar smoker because he didn't drink in the film." And they said that like that completely changed the character because him holding that cigar, it's like a symbol. A cigar is a symbol of like power and authority and confidence and stuff like that. So you put a cigar in the hand, kind of like I'm trying to think of like all these like very iconic men.
Well, that's what happened, and that's one of the reasons why I got into smoking too. Because I'm like, well, I'm studying about Ulysses S. Grant. And I'm in Gettysburg. I'm like, what's this mystique almost surrounding and the bullshit surrounding cigar smoking? This can't be all. And I had my first cigar. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But he wasn't a cigar smoker. Like,
no,
he just wasn't. He had actual friends and fans when he was in the army as a general. They were sent to him. So he's like, all right, I don't want to waste them. So he had like a box. He had like boxes, and I think the total came to like 500 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, all right, here we go. And then he was just smoking so many per day.
Yep.
Yeah. He literally started.
What's really interesting is when, who is it? Gary Oldman, The Darkest Hour, Winston Churchill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so Gary Oldman was not a cigar smoker, but for the role, right, you can't play Winston Churchill and not smoke cigars. It's not possible.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not going to
So-
happen.
Yeah, so Gary Oldman, they bought, I think, a couple thousand cigars for him. And he began smoking them because Winston Churchill was a 7 or 8 cigars a day kind of guy, which blows my mind. But it's Winston Churchill. I'm not gonna, and that was his deal. And so Gary Oldman started smoking 1 and then 2, and eventually got to the point where he was having a few a day, and grew actually quite fond of the lifestyle or the habit, I guess you'd say.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And I think he did a wonderful job as far as that movie goes as well. But even
He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal as Churchill.
Oh yeah. I think I don't think anybody else could have done it. I really don't.
No.
And then you look at guys like
yeah.
Wolverine, right? Wolverine's this powerhouse, tough, right? And he's
Hugh Jackman, yeah.
It it fits.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of like different guys in both film or in just other areas where real life where they were smoking cigars, and there's something about it that just psychologically it's like kind of conveys this this toughness, like this kind of bulldog ruggedness. But maybe it was also because Churchill fit the kind of the archetype of like I think part of it is like even because of the way it's a thick tobacco piece. It's not thin. It's not like a cigarillo, and it's not a pipe. Pipes kind of convey more of a sophisticated thing, like Tolkien or somebody else. Kind of like a MacArthur had a pipe. You're like, okay, this guy's a smart tactician. But then you see a guy who puts a big fat cigar in his mouth. It's like, okay, this is the guy who will like
get shit done. Kill you while he's doing it.
He'll literally just clear the way.
Yeah, he's the enforcer. The guy with the pipe is the planner. He's the planner.
Yeah.
The guy with the cigar is the enforcer.
The brains and the brawn
exactly.
behind the operation. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's one of the old Marine Corps, I guess you could say archetype, is you got the old salty gunny who's chewing on a cigar while he's screaming at people. Kind of idea.
Yeah.
Very old school World War II kind of, and it's never a what do they call it? It's never a Lancero, right? It's not one of the thin, longer ones.
It's not the ones that Clint Eastwood would have.
It's a short or whatever. It's the short.
It's the nub ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in some instances, it's cold and he's just fucking chewing on the end of it. Yeah. Yep.
It reminds me of what's his name? The guy from Band of Brothers, the one cigar smoker, where he literally, like, at one scene in one episode, he pulls the cigar out of the butt of his rifle because he had a little hidden compartment for a cigar, and he just starts chewing on it. I'm like, I don't want to fight this guy.
Right? That's funny.
Well, that little hole there in the bottom of the rifle is actually where you were supposed to keep your cleaning gear. But guys, that stuff it's metal. It's metal and it's plastic, tubes and brushes. So they would just wrap it up in something else and stash it, and they'd put their cigarettes and their cigars, and the real important stuff would go in there. Not your weapons maintenance.
It's like hiding your. It's like the stoners hiding the stoner hiding the weed in the heel of their sandal.
Barrel with this.
There you go.
But I don't want to waste a good cigar.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that. It reminds me of that Liam where he played that. What was it, a gunny or a sergeant major? Yeah, sergeant major.
Oh, Heartbreak Ridge.
Soldiers. Right? He's like, he didn't pull your rifle, and he's like, there'll be plenty of them lying around.
Oh no, I know exactly. I was totally thinking of that scene from We Were Soldiers. Yeah, where he just goes, "You might want to get one of those rifles. If I need any of them, there'll be plenty lying around." And he was allegedly at like that way in real life. My of course, not germane to cigars, but there's that one scene where they're about to be like overwhelmed by the North Vietnamese, and he just pulls out his .45 Colt pistol, just goes, "Gentlemen, prepare to defend yourselves." Just starts popping guys off left and right.
Oh yeah.
And of course, the war correspondent, he hands him a gun. He goes, "I'm a civilian. Ain't no such thing today, sonny."
Uh-huh. Well, yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, people started learning this the hard way, unfortunately, even in Afghanistan and Iraq, right? Nobody else cares.
Right.
Nobody gives a damn, right? Because it's not a political difference, right? They hate who you are. They hate what you stand for.
Right.
So you might be holding a camera, or you might be holding a rifle. You could be carrying a typewriter like that kid in
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan, right? They don't care. They
Right.
don't care. This is not a political difference. It's not just a matter of politicians being unable to solve things, so let's throw bodies at it, right? What you're facing there is an ideological difference. And an ideological difference is there's only one way to end an ideological difference, right? And you have to
Violence.
erase all memory of it, which means the people that hold that ideal. It's a scorched earth policy. And
Right.
some folks don't understand the capability of men who think that way.
Well, they're used to dealing with people who have restraint and have certain rules that they won't break. Whereas there's people in other areas where they don't, their rule is victory. Victory is the greatest virtue. Winning is the greatest virtue, and it doesn't really matter how you win. And so this is what's going to be interesting, is where people who are used to dealing with for lack of a better word, a chivalrous foe, then they go off to fight people whose only rule is, am I going to win? And what do you do with that? So
this is and so this is part of the danger, I think, that even shockingly to some in America you're starting to see, right? So if you view someone as entirely evil and particularly less than human, then what you do to them no longer matters. You saw this with communists and socialists all over Southeastern Asia, Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia, and even now there's some
complete
folks, even in America, who say,
depersonalization.
well, if you hold this ideal, you are now less than human, or you are subpar. And so what you do to them is no longer evil; it's actually a just thing to do. And it's a very dangerous ideology to fall into.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we're coming up on the hour mark. We like to keep these around an hour, or actually an hour and 6 minutes. So, James, you want to read that last comment?
Marty Inslet says the TJ fucking Martinell. That should be your Twitter.
There you go.
It has a ring to it.
And here's another one. You want to read that super chat?
Thanks for that,
Andrew.
That was supposed to be the last. Andrew for $5 says, who would win in a U.S. versus China war, and how fast would China win?
That question is for you, Luke.
So that's an interesting question. I'm not going to pretend that I could. When I tell you that's way above my pay grade, that is that's up there. But what I will say is this: America has always either won or lost its wars off the will of the people. Every time. And China doesn't have that problem because they don't care about the will of their people. Right? So I don't know, and I don't think it'll ever happen, for the simple fact that our economies are way too tied in. One can't survive without the other.
What are they going to do? Shoot their biggest customer?
Yeah, right.
We already give give money away. Where are they going to come over here? Try to. So come over here so they can give money away. I don't think they're going to do it. I think you're right.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be a physical war. It'll as far as not the way that you're thinking of.
Oh no! It's definitely not. It'll take.
That era's gone.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the fourth
public
matter. So
yeah, usually public and foreign policy. Yep.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
They'll find ways to hamstring us via technology long before. What I can tell you is I think they call it the 2049 plan or the 2050 plan, whatever they call it. Their little strategy dates out to the year 2050. What I do know is we are falling behind, and it is happening quickly.
Things
as a nation, we're going to have problems. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. The chat has been interesting. The discussion has been interesting. Luke, it's been a pleasure and a privilege having you back on Masculine Geek.
Thank you for inviting me, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll have you
Yeah,
on
it's
again
great having
soon.
you
We'll
on,
make
man.
sure this. We're going to make sure this isn't another year-long wait in between.
Oh no, yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Have a whiskey and cigars episode for Luke and just have him tear off and educate
Oh,
everybody
goodness.
in the chat.
All right,
Well,
we'll do
I
this
will do
one.
my
We'll do
best,
this
but I'm
one
sure William
last.
as well.
We'll do this one last one. Good.
Oh, motherfucker. Marty
God
Ansel
damn it.
says, Vince, how was that fancy wine?
This is not fancy wine. This is probably $20, and it's tasty. It's a Chilean Malbec, and I do like Malbecs for the interesting taste from the soil that the grapevines soak up in South America. So there you go. All right, no more questions. God damn it, we can't have James ruining his golden voice. So on that note, I'm going to finish my fancy wine. Luke will finish his cigar. TJ will finish his drink, and James will finish his coffee.
I will not. But I
He
will
will-
sip it.
He will sip it. He's going to sip his coffee. All right, so let's do a little bit of
Thank
quick
you,
housekeeping
George.
here. Marty, I appreciate that. Thank you. So, James, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Kickstarter at Eyes of the Forest, Kickstarter/Eyes of the Forest, if you will, or just search it up on Kickstarter. Remember, if you've ever bitched about the culture war, even once in your life, you owe me $2
There you
to
go.
get me so I can produce more comics.
And Red Crusader, I'm going to put my foot up your ass. I did put your YouTube link in the chat earlier, so that should be up on the site. I'll put it in the show notes as well. Is there any other social media or blog or anything that you have, Luke, or is it just strictly the YouTube channel?
So there's that, and then I occasionally post on Instagram.
Oh, that's right.
Cigar
That's right.
Blunt, from time to time. And that's purely cigar and whiskey kind of stuff. Just usually it's what I'm smoking that day. You know, nothing too crazy. But YouTube is the bulk of it. The bulk
Okay.
of it,
Nice.
of course.
Sounds good. Perfect. TJ, last but not least, yourself.
tjmartinell.com. You can find links to all my books. You will buy them. You will read them. You will leave
And
a
review them.
fantastic review.
There you go. That's right. Reviews are very important, people. Put your
Yeah.
money where your mouth is. Buy the book, read it, review it. I'm on masculinegeek.life as usual. So, everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the upcoming weekend. We're supposed to have good weather, at least here on the East Coast.
Oh.
And we will see you next time. TJ, take us out.
Don't take any wood nickels. Keep the fires burning, the lead shooting down range, and toodles.